My name is Ryan Morrow, and this is my Week 6 assignment for Introduction to Firearms, FTT 100, at Sonoran Desert Institute. Today's date is Sunday, October 12th, 2025, and today I will be going over the field stripping and some of the basics of the Smith & Wesson Model 5906. So this is a third-gen Smith & Wesson 5906. It is in 9x19 millimeter. It is a pretty standard recoil-operated Browning tilt barrel action, double-stacked, standard 15-round plus one capacity. It features single action and double action, as well as a ambidextrous decocker. And as we start to dig into this thing, if you're familiar with any other Browning-style tilt barrel, everything should seem pretty familiar to you. As you can see, the magazine is removed and the chamber is flagged. We'll go ahead and visually inspect that the firearm is not loaded. All right, now I'm going to go into the field stripping of this firearm, and please bear with me. I'm going to have to be doing this one-handed. It does help if the hammer is cocked. You want to bring the slide notch back to where it lines up with the takedown pin right there. And when you have it in that position, you're going to want to push the takedown pin in from right to left. So there it is started. I find it helps a lot if you use either a punch or, for mine, the back end of a Sharpie works perfectly. And then after you go ahead and remove it all the way, the slide should come right off. Next, you'll remove the guide rod and recoil spring. Hold on to it so it doesn't go flying. And then you can remove the recoil spring from the guide rod. And the barrel will come right out. Now, for most regular maintenance and cleaning, this field strip level is as far as you'll need to go. Now we're going to go ahead and reassemble it. It's going to be the exact same thing in reverse, except pay attention because there is one extra step that we didn't have to do the first time around of disassembling it. First, replace your barrel. You can reassemble your guide rod and recoil spring. And place that back underneath the barrel. This button end of the guide rod is going to sit on this notch, this little ledge. Just pull it back and get it set on that ledge. Get your slide started on the frame rails and replace the slide. You'll get to this point and you'll notice it will stop. So back here, the slide is running into all these disconnects. Like, you're going to start by pushing this mag disconnect down and getting the slide over top of it. And the next one you should also be able to get with your finger. But the last one here is a little bit tricky. Sometimes it takes a pin or a little punch or a screwdriver, or sometimes you just got to hold your mouth just right. There. So now you've got your slide back on. Now at this point it helps if you recock the hammer and then bring the slide back and then just line up the takedown pin hole with that notch in the slide again. At this point you can easily get it started, and typically it shouldn't give you any fuss. It should just snap right in. Now, naturally, at this point, you would want to perform function checks, make sure you did everything right. But that is the basics of field stripping and reassembling the Smith & Wesson Model 5906. So the vast majority of the Smith & Wesson Auto series that ran from the 1950s all the way up to about 2010, I believe, they should all, especially the 5900 series guns, should all take down just the same. Even though this has the third-gen Novak sights and aftermarket grips on it, it should take down just the same as your 5906 or 5904 or what have you. A lot of them are pretty mechanically identical. Now, if you're wanting to strip this down to any greater length, this schematic is pretty helpful. It's provided by Brownells, but I believe you can find similar ones, if not the same one, through like Numeric Gun Parts. But I'll just put a link to the Brownells page that I got this from in the description. I do really love this gun. It's got a pretty rich history of serving in American law enforcement, as well as competing in military trials and the M9 trials back in the 80s. It had its shortcomings, but actually it made it pretty far given its competition. It's also considered one of the last great all-steel Wonder Nines from a bygone era. And they're still relatively affordable, and there's lots of them, so get your hands on one. Mine's been totally reliable, no issues after tens of thousands of rounds, and I can't remember one non-ammunition related issue. So yeah, these are all around great guns. And like I said, there's a rich history to boot. But anyway, this concludes my week 6 assignment covering the Smith & Wesson 5906. Thanks for watching.